now that we have a Wings Up Gaming map win, we're already rewriting history from the last time these two teams played, which was obviously in the Perfect World Arena Premier League. That was the 26th of the 3rd. So, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while since these two teams have played, but already rewriting history here. Wings Up Gaming going to be moving into the second map, of course, with their map advantage. A 16-14 in the last map. Let's see if anything happens here on Overpass. It's the YK Gaming map pick. Wings Up on the CT side. Let's see how good of a start the CTs can bring.
Yeah, I mean, Overpass is one of those maps where generally seen as so heavily CT-sided. So for Wings Up, especially with a map under their belt, they need to put up a dominant showing on their CT if they want a chance of taking this series 2-0. But YK, we know what they're like in Overpass. They can be a dominant factor in their own regard. So on C side, if they get the ball rolling, things get problematic.
Looking for more of a slower pace here, YK Gaming on Overpass. Setting the tone immediately. First 30 seconds, just retaining the control that they have. The Land! How has he found 2? Make it 3. Land's USP on fire. Salmon will drop bingo, and with that, it does force Land out into the open, and Marek's good for the kill. It's a 2v2 and a shock horror turn of events. We are somehow here. Wings Up Gaming, what an effort from Land, but the retake, despite these 3 kills, might do nothing here. Salmon's going to drop Martin. Marek with another. And despite Land with a 3k in the pistol Neo, YK Gaming have it dead to right. That's super disappointing. That's super disappointing.
Yeah. It started so well individually for Land, but then it just falls apart. I mean, it's all about kind of that mid-round aggression coming through. And, you know, fair play. You know, you see Salmon pick up a double, and that really, really made a difference. Same thing can be said for Marek as well. His 2 kills, again, turning the tide. And for Wings Up, they couldn't quite, or the rest of the team couldn't quite find the form that landed. I mean, 3 kills for his name. He was looking phenomenal, and then it just falls apart. And of course, now YK have lots of economy to work with.
Not only that as well, mentally, how drained Wings Up Gaming must be. You get a decent comeback into this one, especially for Lan, who finds 3 at the early stages, and just like that, your work unwound completely. Gotta hurt. It's definitely gotta hurt. It's safe to say. Pistols in this one definitely won't do it justice compared to the rifles that YK Gaming have here. A great start, though, for YK. And to keep your nerve, despite Lamb finding 3 kills, I think, you know, we've got to play a little bit of devil's advocate here. That is, like, a brilliant and, an insane recovery.
I really didn't think they had it in them to kind of turn that on its head. I mean, the way they were able to do so, fair play. Now stacking from far through. Marek for the first, traded out immediately by Gas. That took a little collected. However, the B site is completely overrun by T side.
Bomb set down, and, well, with the Galil in Gas's hands, I think that's just going to be the only weapon saved. It's a full buy in the next. They could have M401Ss, though, so I'm not too sure sort of what the game plan is. I don't know. Is it worth saving a Galil in this round?
That's the question, isn't it, right?
I mean, obviously, you're saving here to stop any Mac 10 pushing you and getting kills. You know, we see what they don't. We know that there's no Mac 10s, but that's at least the thought process. But why do we want to save a Galil in a round that could be doing a little bit of extra damage to a T side that are force port when you're going to be on M4s in the next round anyway? To me, that doesn't make sense. But, you know, they're the pros. I'm just a caster, so...
Yeah, it's one of those things. I guess to them, it's about they just want some long-term economy built up because they really don't have it at the moment. Yeah, as you mentioned, they, of course, going to fully buy in towards the next with no problems. For Gas individually, I guess, for him, he just wants to keep all of that Galil. So in the future, let's say this one doesn't go to plan, he would still be able to hero a rifle if he really wanted to, or at least drop over a couple of upgraded pistols in a kind of a worst case scenario. And as things stand, it is a little bit of a worst case scenario because they're on the CT side and they're slightly struggling.
York of Land looking for the opening kill. Won't find anything just yet. Flashed off the angle, forced away, and Wings Up Gaming going to be pushed back a little bit here. ChildKing returning from his endeavours in connector. YK Gaming playing this one very slow, but it is very A-heavy.
I mean, so far, I mean, that's been the play by Wings Up, right? A-heavy, generally speaking. Bit of early contact over towards B, but mainly just out of the utility, and then play for the rotations to come through. Land with the orb that could cause some issues.
Definitely going to be looking that way, isn't it? A smoke drop towards front toilets. Martin going to have to find something with the M4, but a dink will not be adequate. Down to 4, Wings Up Gaming stand, but they all run past the AWP. Bingo's on site, sure to hold on, but Land's going to be the flank. The problem is the AWP is definitely not the gun for this kind of engagement, and while he's good for 1 and Bingo is second, both players will fall, and a 2 versus 3. YK Gaming clapping hard in the early stages here on Overpass.
And now ChildKing, all he has to do individually is hold and wait for the rotation and the transition to come through. He knows those CTs have to be rotating back over from the B side. All he has to do is hold and wait, smoking towards dumpster, hold for the bank rotation. It's so easy, so simple, but his HP individually is so low.
Tapping away with the A1S. Looking for a good start. ChildKing, he'll find the opener, looking for a second. Gas makes it work. And now the retake looks a lot more doable. Gas has got a kit, so the stick will come in. A molly attempted. Mate, the molly's way too late. You haven't got a nade to accompany it. And it goes too deep anyways. The defuse is in. And I don't know what Chester's doing here in the post plant. He's not playing for the bomb. And that's it. Round's done.
Yeah, he tried to play this on a post barn in terms of utility, but as you mentioned, it was too little too late. It was nowhere to be seen with the bomb having less than a second to be defused. It was so easy for them to be able to, well, just play this bog standard pros don't fake stick, right? No one was there to greet them. They knew they had a little bit of time to work with, and you could essentially see them just setting up a meat shield. It was so effective. I mean, it worked really, really well, and unfortunately now, we do see a tech pause coming in. It's hopefully nothing too problematic. We saw a couple of tech pauses yesterday. You know, packet loss, all of that stuff. Hopefully this was nothing of the same. But Wings Up, first round on the board on the CT side. Good start for them. This, for me, is kind of one of those important rounds. I need to continue this momentum going because Overpass CT side is so momentum heavy that it just needs to get that ball rolling and continue rolling.
Absolutely. An appropriate response shown by Wings Up, but it's another close round where they showed a full investment into it, right? So weaponry in this round is a little bit of a downgrade. We have a Galil and a FAMAS, for example, but we still have a fair bit of utility to work with, so it's not the end of the world. YK Gaming also suffering on similar wavelengths with ChildKing being on a Galil himself. Round 4, chance to equalise for Wings Up. Of course, the YK Gaming map picks, you'd be expecting something special on that CT side, but as you said, if Wings Up Gaming can, you know, be on the right wavelength and push themselves out to double digits to a very respectable CT half, then there is a realm of possibility where this game ends early and only ends in 2. With Gas finding the opening kill and Lamb with the follow-up, that is off to the start that Wings Up Gaming desperately were looking for.
Yeah, of course, now we can start again having that conversation about YK struggling a little bit on the T side. We saw it previously in towards Mirage where at times it was lackluster on the T side from YK. Couldn't find their form, couldn't find the trades, couldn't even find an opening kill. And that's sort of a similar scenario here where now the numbers don't favour them and Wings Up, all they have to do is play for the trades.
ChildKing waits and he will exploit for the first. Chester gone. A follow-up as Salmon drops and Bingo will take the third. Orb scoops up, premium rifles delivered, and it's 2-all. And not only that, there is a real good chance that Wings Up Gaming can do collateral damage and it really starts picking up the pace.
That's it. Title square. As you mentioned, you look towards YK. The economy over in that situation is a little bit dicey. And I think for them, the idea is to stick above 2k in terms of their money. Maybe potentially pick up a Tech 9 if they want to, a P250. We see, in fact, the Deagle collected by Salmon. You want to stick around that 2k mark because it guarantees you can have an AK and armor and towards the next. But even still, for YK, you can't really expect too much of them in this sort of round because it isn't a full eco, or half buy investment, I guess you say, from them. Not full Deagles or Tech 9s or anything of the matter. Bit of utility, couple of Eagles to work with, and a lot of reliance on Chester and Salmon individually finding success with the hand cannons.
See what they have in store for us here. Sometimes these Deagles can perform miracles. Not all the time. But there's definitely scenarios where we've seen 3Ks, 4Ks just pulled out of nowhere. And those rounds quite quickly can be flipped on its head. Minute 5 in this one though, Neo, and I think Land has picked up the info, or at least picked up the scent that there's a couple of players in on short. The flash will do a fair bit of work. Spots the player jumping across as well. Oh, Land! Oh, the AWP has done so much. 2 bullets, make it 3 as he finds 3. Martin to steal it away, but that is perfection from the AWP.
Oh, Lan, I mean, that is brilliant. What a performance from him individually. He was one of those players who stood out in towards map number 1 and again in towards map number 2, stepping up into his own regard. He's 8-3 currently, flying, absolutely flying so far as Wings Up find their 3rd round on the board. Talk about individual brilliance, and Lan is the encapsulation of it. Stunning.
3-2. Wings Up Gaming ahead. More importantly, YK Gaming on a full buy. And a chance of an adequate response is there. But that nade, already over half health done to Marek. It's not the greatest of starts. This flashbang goes absolutely insane. ChildKing, what? He's full blind. And he's just pre-fired salmon. That's insane. Just Spidey senses tingle, pulls the trigger, gets the kill.
You take those. You absolutely take those. Now, of course, where things stand for YK, a similar scenario that we saw prior. Numbers not looking good in terms of that disadvantage. HP not great for Marek either. And all that Wings Up have to do now is play the classic buddy system. Just play for the 2-2 splits, play for the trades.
Trades definitely won't be enough for YK. We need someone to go huge. The last minute on the clock will be used to establish some B control, leaving the lurk of Freeman in connector, and I can only guess the split will happen at one point or another. For the time being, though, it is indeed ChildKing to pick up a second. Marek, response is decent. 4v3, Wings Up Gaming in a very comfy spot already. Marek set even lower through the use of utility. I swear that man, he's taken one bullet. The rest of the damage has just literally been through nades. And with 25 seconds to go, sure, the Molly's done a bit of damage to Lan, but the man advantage and sort of the pressure that Wings Up Gaming are showing. There is a bomb plant, which is nice, but I feel like that is going to be the only consolation to this round.
Yeah, no, exactly that. I mean, the bomb going down is a great thing, but the low HP is also great. Chester finds a bit of individual brilliance. It could be good. Marek again. More damage, still not dead. Chester will find one. Trade from Gas, though. Numbers still in their favour.
Bomb is ticking. Nicely done. Need 2 more, though, Freeman. That bomb, it's still continuing to tick. The nade, it's tapped, it's not stuck. They've not stuck in. And Freeman's got another. Lan, he's going to try and hold it. The AWP on the angle, sure he finds the kill. But Freeman holds on. And Lan might not even get to save the big green. Will he escape? Yes, just about. But that is an equaliser for YK.
Yo, I just about there as well. Again, Freeman, that's brilliant. Individually as well, he just is so calm and collected in that situation. The nade comes through, he was looking for a kill, doesn't find it, but the swing is brilliant. Finds the headshot, and of course, most importantly for YK, tying this game up 3 rounds apiece. Everything is looking fairly decent for them to at least put up a pretty substantial T-side performance on Overpass on their map pick to kind of at least make this a as even of a affair as it was in towards Mirage.
Round 7. One team will pull ahead despite YK Gaming having a decent innings in this round and winning the last. The utility, the weaponry, it's definitely not there as Gas finds 2, Bingo a 3rd, the Mac 10 of Freeman good for another. But this round is done. They've chalked it up. If 4 players survive as well, that is a massive victory for Wings Up Gaming.
Huge. I mean, 4 players staying alive, economically speaking, that is monumental. That keeps them very comfortably in check, that you never really have to have too much of a worry going forward. And speaking of worrying about economy, it's the same situation we've seen again over towards YK. They're stuck in this kind of brutal cycle that we speak about, where it's full buy come in, failure to convert, leaves them back into an eco, and it's rinse and repeat. They can't get that kind of, I guess, momentum going on their side. The speed bumps that they've had along the way haven't really been too much to kind of push Wings Up off the road, and it's so far so good.
4-3. Neo, do you see this being one-sided, 10-5 halves, or do you think it's going to be a little more close with how YK Gaming are playing?
Oh, I don't know, for me, the way things are starting to posture, it looks like Wings Up might be able to put themselves up into quite a substantial lead on their CT side, which then gets problematic because, you know, the question, as we saw in towards Mirage, or too little too late, does become a little bit of an issue at times.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Wings Up are in a pretty hot spot right now in terms of how well they're playing and sort of the advantages that they have going for them. This round is just an eco. Any damage will be good. Bingo, good for 1. In fact, a second as Gas and land both the kills. Only the AWP dropped, and eventually 4 survive once again. Wings Up Gaming starting to make waves financially, and for YK Gaming, them being on an E-Cup, of course, meaning we have a full buy in the present. But it doesn't come without its drawbacks, because Wings Up Gaming, look at the money that we have here on the CT side. An immense amount of cash saved up.
I mean, for them, they're absolutely swimming in the cash right now. I mean, they have no problems. And it's one of those things, well, more often they kind of, yeah, they can pick up a full buy continuously. That's great. But it's kind of another thing for them where they never have to worry about maybe being a little bit over-aggressive. Because, oh, if I'm over-aggressive and I die, I don't have money for the next. They don't have to worry about that sort of stipulation. They're fine. But for YK, they do. They can't afford to be too overly aggressive, or they will be punished.
Salmon will get dropped. Gas finding the opening kill, making it look easy once again here. I don't know what to say other than just Wings Up Gaming are so good at stripping these man advantages, so good at, you know, like bartering their way into a round. Nade is pretty good as well onto Freeman, who takes a fair bit. And, you know, this is a 5v3 that doesn't just extend to this man advantage, but look at the map control that they hold with it as well. Short is theirs. ChildKing a bit too hasty, not checking his angles, and he will be dropped by Freeman. Chester's AWP claiming the duel against Lan. So from a man up to a man down, Wings Gaming, they've got a little bit of work to do here.
So far, so good. Martin dropping a smoke in towards close to Vidic. Doesn't want to take the issue, but a contact. Chester finds him through the smoke. That's unfortunate of your Martin.
GV4. Gas. Bingo. Some work to be done here. 35 seconds left, though. Time is of the essence. And as they move in towards A, there's one thing that could stop them, and it's Bingo. And he's good for the information, but only the info. A little bit of chip damage done to Freeman. But a 1 versus 3 for the big man of Gas. He's got 8 kills already so far. Going to be looking for 11. And a 1 versus 3. That's what he's got to step up against here. And as he moves in, edges forward, spots out Marek, no kit. So he's going to have to get a move on here. And already the damage, but his position compromised. The flash is really good as well. And that's going to set him back even further. And while he's good for the first, the damage is extensional. And with that, it's a save. It's 4 on the board for YK Gaming.
He gave it a good effort. I mean, he finds himself 2 kills. That opening again, that's been Gas's biggest kind of addition towards Wings Up. Finding that opening kill. This time it was on towards Salmon. And then because of that trying to play the trade game, but over towards the A side, the contact play that Wings Up tried to formulate didn't work. They got caught in transition. Once the players fell, Gas rotating back over towards A, it was too tough for him to be able to pull off a 1 versus 3 essentially in that sort of situation. Yeah, he finds 1, but fall away with his rifle intact and kind of reset coming in towards round number 10. But the deficit still only kept at 1 round. YK, despite having what I would put it to being a little bit of a lackluster performance so far in towards the T side, they're still at least keeping this competitive.
Round 10. Chance for YK Gaming to tie the scorecards for Martin. He's going to start Wings Up Gaming as the usual would suggest. It's a man up for Wings Up. And in fact, he doubles down. And he'll hit it once more. He goes for more. Chester's AWP will trade. But a 2 versus 4 now made down to 1. ChildKing from short amidst the molly. He's able to find the penultimate kill of this round. And Salmon, he's next to follow.
So far now, Salmon, he was the first one to fall in towards the previous round. This time he is the last. ChildKing will clean things up. And just like that, Wings Up, extend the lead to 2. Again, this has been kind of the similar standard story, this entire map number 2 of Wings Up, extending the lead to 2, then having a little bit of a rough one, back to 1 lead, and then, of course, back to 2 again. This time, though, they're coming against that low buy of YK. There's no investment, really, into this round. Couple of upgraded pistols, which we've seen in towards Mirage cause some problems, but on Overpass, I can't expect too much. This should be a comfortable 7th.
Should indeed be. Pistols definitely show some force, but I don't think it's going to be enough to win a round. And in the early stages of this round, once more, it is just a default. ChildKing, very deep control here towards short. There's a lot to himself, knowing that connector may be open as well. He will beckon his teammates back around. The problem is, despite him having this control and Wings Up Gaming being very passive towards B. There are still 3 players to hold this on.
So far, I guess for the likes of YK, the priority here is getting a bomb on. It's like we've seen before, just keep them in a little bit of a cash flow. ChildKing should be able to mop up at least a few here. Playing around back pillar, flashing towards sandbags too. He wants the contact into a short, and there it is. There's been a third damage down, but it's going to be a comfortable 2 for Marek finds one of his own, but it's all they are going to be able to find. YK only pick themselves up 1 kill. It's Wings up to 7. They're 1 round away from guaranteeing a lead at the half. And the way that they're playing on their CT side, I'd be very surprised if they don't find it.
Brilliantly taken care of, those pistols. 7-4 the scoreline, Neo. As you said, this game starts to get a little more interesting because with more rounds, gives Wings Up more of a chance to close this out in a 2-0 fashion. For YK Gaming, this is their map pick, and we expect something spectacular on the CT side. I think both of us in the back of our minds are thinking, even at this scoreline, they should just be able to push us to a 3 map up. Having said that, though, confidence and finding these man advantages is something that Wings Up are excelling in, and so maybe there is a bit of a worry, maybe a bit of a hindrance here. Freeman, he's going to find the first, so already rocking the boat here as YK Gaming established that early lead.
Oh, that shot from land. Smokers was from bathroom as well. Molotov coming through, and he would just about be able to cross.
Land. Oh,
no
he
way.
slipped the net somehow and slips right back through the smoke. An easy pickup down to 3. YK Gaming now try and force their hand towards A. And Salmon's good for 1. One will need to be set down. Gas has picked up an AK though. He's not on the AWP. Well, Land's at least got it. Playing the old Bogdan's Law for now. Chester, he's got the flank of a lifetime, but Land's holding it down. Timing! Oh my word, timing. Literally, if he had held that for half a second longer, it would have been the man up. But now they are going to try and turn their attention forward. ChildKing mid-air will do decent damage. Marek Portal, there is a man behind they've got to be careful for. The bomb's so far ticked. They've got to get the defuse in. They've got to start sticking it. But Land's dropped by Salmon. And with that, Gas is just going to fall to the bomb. But in fact, it's Chester's AK to make the mark. It's a 5th on the board for YK Gaming.
1 kill there makes all the difference. You know, if Chester falls in towards bathroom, then they have the numbers advantage. They play the trade game on the retake. That's Wings up to 8 rounds. No questions asked, no F-bots or maybes. But that's not the case. Chester just about stays alive when he needed to be honest. And more or less single-handedly wins the round by YK, for YK, I say, just by being alive. His kind of presence alone is enough to make Wings Up be slightly cautious of where it could be coming from. It's really well played.
10-5 half is still very manageable. Gas finding the opening kill through the smoke. That is a definite way to start it. A correct one as well for Wings Up Gaming. Really nicely taken care of. ChildKing, he'll find a second. And I don't know, man. YK Gaming, 1 round, they look like a really decent side. The next, we're taking one-on-ones. We're not trading. We're not playing Team CS, and they're suffering for it.
No, agreed. It's been I got a situation with YK where they heavily rely on the individuals to step up. We've seen it a couple of times where, you know, it's very reliant on 1 or 2 players finding, you know, a double kill at the very least, maybe even sometimes a multi, just to really find some success, may I say, in rounds. And this is a similar scenario where it doesn't work. For YK, the fact that the trades aren't there leaves them now at a 2-man disadvantage.
All goes hush. At the 40-second mark, YK Gaming will collect their resources and look for a way back in. ChildKing does get flashed in. Gas as well, caught blind. 2 from short, 1 from Monster. Wings Up Gaming, they've got appropriate resources to dismiss this one quite quickly here. A second kill to come in. Chester will fall as well. 8-5, Wings Up Gaming back to their winning ways in convicted fashion as well.
Yeah, I mean, back to a scenario for them where they can start to at least feel a little bit comfortable. They've guaranteed the lead at the half, which is the big silver lining coming in towards round number 14, the penultimate round of the half. They will be against not much of an investment from YK, which means that they should more or less find 9. And it's looking like we could get a replica of what we saw in towards that previous map number 1 of a 9-6 half. Absolutely bog standard on a CT side, and then we can really start to kind of have a discussion about Wings Up on their T side of Overpass, which is notoriously quite difficult.
Lan, of course, he digs deep, he finds the kill, and it's a man advantage again against the pistols, but what can you do, man? YK Gaming just being picked apart right now. And that is going to be a pretty staggering start for the Wings upside. To make it 9, if they could get double digits, that would be... I think that would be massive. Yeah, you're right. I think the difference between 9-6 and 10-5, a lot of people would just say, oh, it's a round. It's massive. It is massive. Lan, somehow staying alive, and his teammate saves his life. The no-scope bingo 90-degree flicks. What's just happened? It's all kicked off in half a second, but it gives Wings Up Gaming 9, and there is only one casualty to show for it.
That is not what you were looking for at all. If for YK, they tried to at least make it expensive. Yeah, it wasn't much of an investment. They got a little bit closer at times, but Wings Up, with the difference in firepower, find their 9th. It's a question of, are we going to get that replica? Are we going to get the 9-6 that we saw in towards Mirage? Or is it going to be Wings Up extending it by 1, hitting double digits in the first half, and really cementing themselves on like a solid CT performance towards Overpass, and potentially even being the foundations of a 2-0 here?
Flash drops out, ChildKing. It's an easy pick up. The short controls here, and not only that, it's an AK scoops up as well, and he'll continue the spam, try and do the damage. But for Lan, he's got one man locked in. The shot does miss, and a smoke will be warranted in a decent response, but the orb still on the back of the site. Lan finding the first, looking for more as well, as Lan connects a second, and we're down to 2, down to the bare bones, and it is absolutely annihilation. 10-5 at the half, Wings Up Gaming lead. They are 6 rounds away from eliminating YK. Can they get it done on the T side? We find out after this.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second half underway. Wings up a 10-5 half. I mean, you gotta say, it's a very, very solid performance. And it's like a question of, can they continue the success on the slightly tougher T side?
Yeah, I think, you know, winning the pistol definitely would put them in a good spot, though. So, this round quite important for Wings Up Gaming to be winning. You can see there is a little bit of util. There's a smoke and a flash. Bingo and Martin holding the util between them. Bingo finding the first kill. Freeman low HP as well. Wings Up Gaming advantage, but not only that, it's extended to a HP lead as well. Gas is going to be emerging through Monster. A smoke in on Heaven, but 4 players wait, but it doesn't stop Land from finding damage as he finds himself 1. Gas the 3rd, Bingo the last, and just like that, Wings Up Gaming have 11.
And to pick up a pistol round on T side, again, continue that momentum, that's huge. It really makes a significant difference where Wings Up, you normally think on a T side of Overpass, it's rounds every now and again, but now they can more or less, well, they got the first, they can probably guarantee a second here as well into round number 17 because there's not looking like much of an investment for YK. To go 12-5 up, a 7-round lead, you then again start to get to that question of too little too late. YK, they're getting into a really, really rough spot now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they realise that they're second best here on map 2. Whether they can, of course, turn things around when they have rifles, that is a question yet to be answered. Marek, very nice shot to open things up. The USP-1s coming in, Salmon getting the dink, but the MAC-10s and the Galils doing exactly as expected, and they will just plough through these unarmoured opponents. Whoa, Chester. Very nice shot. Still 3 more to go, though. Bomb's going to be scooped up, set down. And with that, I think it's safe to say this will be Wings Up Gaming to 12.
Yeah, he's in Heaven as well. It has to drop down. They're going to hear it. They're going to pick him apart out of the sky. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Bingo. Cleans things up as Wings Up find their 12th. Retro, I am starting to get worried about YK. This is their map pick. And so far, they can barely even scrape the surface. But of course, we enter around about 18. And it is a full buy for them. You see the AWP picked up by Chester. The rifles to support and a whole host of utility too. This could be the start of something. But again, you look towards Wings Up. It's not even a bad buy, despite it being what is technically speaking a bonus.
See how they do. The money, as you said, would dictate that this is a bit of a bonus. A couple of these players fully investing. Gas and Bingo both bringing in AKs and the premium buy. And ChildKing, Martin, at least with some money in their back pocket, though. Orp on the YK Gaming side of Chester. I'm wondering if that's going to be the difference maker here, Neo. So far, slow. Wings Up Gaming taking their time, knowing that they're on the bonus, want to make sure that the map control is theirs, and they want to close the gap, basically, to these premium rifles, because that's where they're going to exceed, is getting in their face.
So far, so good if you are Wings Up. They're just buying a little bit of time, and of course, trying to force YK into a little bit of inopportune space. Who's to come through? The time being, not going to spot too much. Chester flashed off the angle, but he gets a freebie land. Walks straight into the scope.
Chester, easy pickup for the first. The smoke to try and give him a bit of space. All in all, though, he is just going to be tucked behind it. Having a good look, fires off the shot, doesn't find the mark. It is just a blind fire, 40 seconds, and the util to be dropped in. Looking for more, the AWP just tries to blind fire. ChildKing will fall, Martin's trade is good. They're looking for more here, ChildKing fighting his ground, but Gas has got the response, and somehow this is a 2-on-2. The bomb's still yet to go down. There is a massive flank in Marek, but if they can set the bomb down, there is enough time to try and find it, but Salmon through the smoke catching Gas. And that leaves Bingo here in a 1 versus 2. AK in his hands. Going to hear the USP spam. But ultimately the flank is going to be good. Marek should have him dead to right. The head spotted. And the shots rattling off. But Marek, it's messy. And that Bingo now trying to isolate the one-on-ones. He will eventually fall. But way too close for comfort there.
I did. I mean, that went down to the wire. Another scenario where Wings are potentially in a situation where they probably shouldn't have been such a kind of force to be reckoned with, actually really pushed YK to their limits. Only 2 remaining alive in what is essentially a bonus round for them is really not too shabby at all. A couple investments will be caused kind of problematic in towards the next round because, you look towards Gas, Bingo as well. Those two don't really have the best of weapons. And it's forced Wings Up into essentially where's a hero AK role. Land's going to pick up the AK-47, Sports by upgraded pistols, and that's more or less all we're going to have brought into round number 19 for them. This should be YK finding 7.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Wings Up Gaming, it's a pretty confusing time. Had they have played a little bit more of a bonus rather than Gas and Bingo investing, then the money could have been good enough to get the kill, get the buy in this round. Not that it matters, because the first kill in favor of ChildKing, and he himself now has an M4A1S Marek. He will trade, but not without taking a fair chunk of damage. Lan dishing out 90 points of health. ChildKing will find Bingo, but a great response from Gas. This is a 3v3, a round that Wings Up Gaming invested little amounts into, but are getting maximum quality from it. Marek low, Chester on an AWP. This is not ideal at all. In a 2 versus 3, the man advantage, the bomb is ticking. This is going to be 13. There's no way YK Gaming have the time. ChildKing going to find the rifle and Martin to catch the AWP. And just like that, Wings Up Gaming back in business.
Yeah, it's 2 for ChildKing, 2 for Martin, and those 2 cause problems. Wings Up find a round from nothing. One AK-47 is all they invested into it. That's all they had, land on AK-47. And they walk away with a 13th on the board. YK have been their biggest enemy. And remember as well, this is the consolidation final. Lose with this and you are out. You have no chances left of making it towards Melbourne. Make it to potentially even a conference spot too. I mean, for the likes of YK, that pressure is starting to become insurmountable.
AWP of Lan. Spots it once. Pulls the trigger on the second time of the jump, and Chester will lose his life. 5 versus 4. It's pistols for YK. It's looking like 14, and it is looking good for Wings Up Gaming. ChildKing not going to get away with a kill. A bit criminal. The 5-7 doesn't find the kill there. Nonetheless, Salmon can have a good look. Gas will take his head off. Down to 2. Wings Up Gaming. They're on for 14. This is strong.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of bits of damage here and there with the USPS, but it is just the USPS. Against full armor, it can't even touch any sort of serious damage. You have to get a couple of dinks coming through, but that's not what we found so far for YK. The 2 remaining alive are Marek and Freeman. For them, it's about potentially getting an exit frag, but even that is a shot in the dark. I mean, against the full rifles that they've got on display for Wings Up, I doubt they'll even find themselves 1 kill. If they do, it won't be long lasting because they'll be hunted down. Was long. Easy kill for Lan. Looking for a second as well. Has spotted the other. I think will come forward though. Lan may not want to contest this that much. He is being caused slightly problematic. Towards the rock though. Gun barrel spotted. And Gas will clean things up. Flawless round for Wings Up as they find 14. They are 2 rounds away from taking YK's map pick. And of course heading over to face off IHC later on today.
14-6. 2 more to the finish line, Neo. The subtle tone is that we expected a little more from YK Gaming. And maybe they've just drawn the short straw in this BO3. And now ESL Challenger Melbourne seems to be out of their sights. Disappointing in the office here for YK Gaming. There's no questions asked that they are kicking themselves that they don't have a victory here. I mean, as I said earlier on, and as we both agreed upon, this is probably one of the in fact, the most even matchup in this event so far, and it will be the most even matchup. YK Gaming still had the advantage. They still look like the better team. Chester good for 1, but a trade that gives Wings Up a little bit of info, but more importantly, more knowledge as to how YK Gaming are acting. It is indeed a bit of a play towards A. They get the information. They want to back up, play with numbers.
And so far as well, numbers are even, but the likes of YK, they're spread a little bit thin. Over towards long, bit of U30 can force ChildKing into a little bit of a rough spot as well. He himself playing contact. For the time being, they're just going to go up and on, and they're going loud.
Sending it in, Freeman back at the site. Molly ticks out, but they don't hear it. Freeman gets away with 2. That is brilliant with the A1S. Gas eventually responds, but a man advantage that falls in favour of YK Gaming. In fact, 2. He's going to have heard the steps of Marek here, but Bingo in the 1 versus 3. Way too much to ask for, Neo, and I feel like this is it. This is YK Gaming's way back in. Money's still looking good for that T side, though, so this is a multi-stage approach to try and reset it, but that is a good start.
14-7. I mean, there's still a realm of possibility where YK can take some regulation. I think it's safe to say it's probably pretty unlikely, but
yeah,
they can at least start to make the right steps towards, you know, looking towards OT, looking towards kind of closing things out. The only thing that makes it really uncomfortable for YK is that they've got more or less no margin for error. I mean, 2 slip-ups. That's all that Wings Up need. Just 2 mistakes. 2, you know, post-spawns working successfully for them, and Wings Up are going to walk away with not only the map, but the series itself. It's a horrible scenario for them to be in, where YK, they know they more or less have to be flawless.
Definitely is the case. See what they have in store for us here. Round 22. AWPs, AKs, everything. That's what Wings Up Gaming have brought forward. I want to make sure this game is done soon, but for ChildKing, he wants to slow the bleeding and give YK Gaming a chance. It's 2 kills and no response. Stunner, an absolute stunner of a round so far for YK.
Jester's all playing contact either side of the smoke. He's in a very, very tough angle to clear. Even the flashes might not even catch him. All he has to do is hold down the fort.
Having a decent look, isn't he, here, Chester? Holding aggressively, we'll find one more. The follow-up is strong. Down to 2. And YK Gaming yet to be deducted of a single man, and it will stay that way for the entirety of it, Neo. A brilliant performance. YK Gaming up to 8.
Starting to climb back into this. There is definitely a world in which they make this work. It's, of course, a big ask, but one in which YK can live up to, especially with the big names that they got. You know, of course, you mentioned ChildKing and Freeman, the 2 kind of notable names on that side who have been around for quite a while. They've got a wealth of experience. And speaking of, you know, look towards Wings Up, who maybe slightly not as experienced in that sense, and they're going to have to call for a timeout here. I mean, they know they've kind of lost control of the early bits of momentum, and they want to try and claw it back. And heading in towards this next round, it won't be a hefty investment for them, so they can't really make too much of an overzealous decision. But in fact, are they going to go for hero buys? They are. Double AK coming out, Deagle supports in the hands of Martin, Lan and Bingo will pick up a Tech 9 apiece, so it's still sticking around for the most part around that 2k mark, aside from, of course, that of ChildKing. But a quite hefty investment. It worked before, though.
I don't know, man. I think you're 14-8 up. Like, what's the need to go for a hero AK? What's the need for desperation? Like, just chill. You know, we've got rounds to play with. You know, YK Gaming need to win 8 in a row to win this game. They need 7 out of the next 8 to push us to overtime. Like, that's so much to work with. You've got so much time. Man, I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking like a bit of an idiot. Maybe the AKs are going to do something massive, and I'm just, you know, going to be shut up quickly. But I've got to be realistic in these situations, Neo, and I don't think this was the play.
Well, so far, I mean, it's looking like they're going for a contact play towards A. Lan leading the charge, Tech 9 in hand. These Tech 9s have caused issues, especially when it's against an AWP. One missed shot, who knows? Yeah, definitely is the case. Flash is going to be dropped out, having a decent look.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No, not like this. Mate, I've said it. I've said it. Salmon, he's good for 1, looking for more. Land's just jiggling back and forth. They know the info of 1. Decent spam through the wall. Morex found another. The flash is too good. The Tech 9's found the kill. And it is now down to 1. And the AK flank is good enough for the round. I will shut up. I will sit silent because Wings Up Gaming have 15. Map, series, and grand final point. Straight for Wings Up now.
That Tech 9. I told you, it's a little bit of a... It's a dubious fiend, the Tech 9. It's so good when used in the right hands, and it was in the right hands. I mean, really well played from Wings Up. That is the 2nd time already we've seen a hero AK situation supported by Tech 9s, you know, defeat YK with a full buy. I mean, it's ridiculous to consider. And now they just need one more slip up from YK and they've won this game.
Nicely done. ChildKing will find the opener. Freeman's response is good. The FAMAS caught out. Martin's taking his head off. Freeman's still standing his ground, though. And we need more heroics from the A1. Estes Martin only going to be good for the trade. Chester will find him a 2v2. Himself and ChildKing got to do it all. Bomb in the pocket of Bingo. They could choose to go towards upper. They could indeed. And Bingo will be darting for it. But Lan looking to do it solo. And big damage done to ChildKing. It's a 1v1 to keep them in it.
Yeah, wrap towards A. It's the smart play here. Nice open plant as well, and then make it very, very difficult for the CT guy rotating in to even understand where Bingo can play from. He's going to post up in towards long. I like this call. As ChildKing makes his way out towards short, he knows from his behind he's going to be, for the time being, at the very least clear. It's all about timing on the defuse, and does ChildKing even expect him to be long?
Surely you don't.
Yeah.
Bomb's ticking, it's tapped, it's not stuck.
GG.
Bingo has it covered. And 16-8 Wings Up Gaming have themselves a 2-0 and a bit of an extended break before they face IHC in the grand finals, Neo. A brilliant performance, though, of course,
Really
for
is.
the Wings Up Gaming side. And it is a shame for YK Gaming because I think they definitely could have stood the test a little bit more. Overpass, especially on that CT side, really couldn't get the ball rolling. And, well, that'll be them done out of this event. But that sets us up nicely for one more game, and we can talk a little bit about that.